two bananas going to fold this way, right? So therefore, like you're actually fighting someone through the two tips of the banana, which means that like if Wu pushes me, right, I am not going to fight here, right? I'm not going to fight here, but I'm actually going to be doing the banana thing, right? Which means that like I'll draw him into my back aura. 1, 2, 1. Yeah. That's the way it works. Yeah, you want to surround the opponent. Yeah, you don't want to fight him. And sometimes, let's say, if Wolf takes the shape of horizontal power, right? If you take the horizontal power, whichever way, you just put a hand. A fist is probably easy. That's likely to hurt yourself. Yeah, okay. Horizontal power. Yeah, come in horizontally. Yeah. Now, if it comes in horizontally, my banana is not going to work horizontally, okay? But bananas can always work vertically. So which means that from here, instead of taking this part, I'm taking this part now. 1, 2, boom. That's the idea. Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
Even when you hit someone, right? When you hit someone, don't hit him here, right? You hit him here, this is going to become a hard push. A hard push, it doesn't work. So when you come in and hit someone, do the banana thing. Yeah. That's a big deal.
This guy, he's watching
All right. Banana Tai Chi. All right. You saw it first in Texas. Yeehaw!
Remember the Green Lantern T-shirt yesterday? Once you can form the Yi, right? The Chi structures forms as well, and then you actually use that to fight your opponent. Okay, so you have to have faith. And it's not limited by the body. Don't think that my Yi Chi has to be inside the body. It gets projected, okay? It can be anywhere and everywhere. Now today we've got quite a number of things to go through, and we'll try to make it as hands-on and as much fun as possible. And we will begin with understanding the concept of the pendulum, okay? If I can again borrow a wolf. Now, Wang Yongquan mentioned that like Yang GM Wei, when Yang GM Wei explains the human body, he likes to use the idea of a pendulum. And of course, like Wang Yongquan take one step forward, he saw this bell on it's almost like a wind chime on the temple, or hang on the temple. And when the breeze blows on the wind chime on the little pendulum, the pendulum swings around and makes a little sound with the wind chime. So when we talk about a bell structure, it's actually not this really great, big, massive, heavy bell, but it's actually one of those little light bells with a little pendulum inside. Okay. Now, if I can borrow wool, okay. No, that's right. That's done here. Now. Why do I use wood to illustrate the bell structure? Obvious here. Okay. Okay.
Working on my bell structure.
Yeah. Okay. Now we'll talk about the pendulum first. What the pendulum is actually this line from roughly around the throat there, roughly. Okay, it's just a guideline that hangs down up to roughly about the quad. Okay, so imagine he's got the string inside, right, with a steel heavy weight that can swing around. All right. Now, as time goes by, this pendulum, when you use it, it can go down, it can go up, it can go sideways. You can basically swing with it and whichever way you want. You can swing it this way too, right? But in the beginning, just think of it as this thing that swings around like that. Okay, right. Now, you use that to generate power, right? And you also use that to analyze your opponent, okay? Now, for example, if I have to, okay, let's say Wolf just stands like this, right? First, I will go through how to use that to analyze the opponent, okay? If Wolf has got this string inside and the pendulum swinging around, right? It would be silly of me to attack him. Yeah, feel free to get out of the way and so on. Yeah. It would be silly of me to try to attack him like this, right? Because like he's just moving around, and I don't find a latch on it. Imagine that you've got a piece of string with actually a pendulum swing inside. You try to push the swing, like, forget it. It's just not going to work, okay? The only way it's going to work is that if you actually turn that string into a solid object, okay? Then you've got something to hang on to, okay? So now, we'll try to move around, right? This doesn't work, but so what I have to do is that I actually have to find a way to stabilize the string, and now the string is stabilized. Okay, I just give it a little move, right? And person pause, right? Because the pendulum is stabilized. Okay. If I'm going too fast or too slow, well, let me know, because I know some of this concept can be a little bit like, just a little bit. So, and of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me as well too. Otherwise, please.
Well, I understand the aid of stabilizing the pendulum.
Yeah.
But how do you stabilize it?
Good question. Yeah. Okay. It's all in the mind. Okay. Now, probably stand this way so it's easy to see. Okay. Now this pendulum line. Okay. What I want to do is, in my mind, I am not attacking wolf on the outside. I'm not attacking the bell structure on the outside, because I can't even get in if I'm attacking the bell. So in my mind, I have actually sipped my power right through into that pendulum. Okay. Now, also when I move around, I know the pendulum is moving as well too. Okay. So I would actually use, as if I've got a magnetic attraction, to draw the pendulum, to grasp the pendulum, to do all sorts of things to it. Okay? Now, in your mind, in my mind anyway, what I'm doing is that, let's say from here, this is actually pendulum is moving. In my mind, for example, I'm actually using my hands to draw that line into my power structure, right? Draw that in. It's not stabilized. It's still not stabilized. I know that even if it's drawn, wolf is still movable. So once I draw that in my mind, I'm actually clamping it now. Okay? So imagine an invisible hand goes in and grab that pendulum. Okay? Now once I grab the pendulum, right, wolf can still go, let's say from here, I grab the pendulum now, wolf can still move a bit, not as easy as before now, but wolf can still move a bit. And next thing I want to do is to juggle it, maybe tug it, maybe lift it, and so on, until I feel that line as solid. Okay? Now that line, that solid line is only going to be there momentarily. Wolf is going to, because wolf is in a wolf opponent, he's not going to feel, oh, stabilize now, and then he's going to let this keep stabilizing. He's going to keep moving, right? So as soon as I find stability, then I have to deal with it, right? And that's also one of the concepts of the Yat Tong Zik Hong, which means that as soon as your power's gone through, right, it has to be emptied, right? Which means that I'm not going to find wolf pendulum, okay, and then I'm going to keep pushing it, I'm going to keep pushing it. That's not the way to go, right? I'm going to find it, connect, connect and disappear, connect and disappear, yes.
How much of what you were doing is contingent on your contact with the left hand?
Okay.
With his arm?
Stability.
That's
It helps. I don't have to. For example, from here, that would work as well too, right? But again, the painting, the welding thing as well, as even if you've got one point as a stability on the wall, it makes your life so much easier. So much easier. So you'll notice that when you have to do something very, very fine, you would want, let's say if you have to draw something, you would want to get a little pinky to at least rest on the wall to give you that extra dimension for stability. And that's what we want to do as well too. Yeah. And so even if I have to do my hand this way, right? Yeah, that's what I can. Ideally, right, I'm not going to give a single pointers like that. I would use, let's say I use my thumb as that little pinky rest. right? So that at least then I have something else to help me, something else to help me. Yeah, that gives me a little bit more to work on. Okay, those little rest points, the more you can hide it, the better it is. The thing about Tai Chi is that when you want to use it, it's about being sneaky. So I'm not going to grab this great big hammer like Thor and smash with it, right? I'm actually going to be more like Loki. Illusion. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. Okay. Now, most of us here have a little bit of push-hand experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. So why not give it a play? Find yourself a partner. Give it a little bit of a play before we continue on, so you can actually get the concept of the pendulum, and then we will play with actually using your own pendulum to generate power. Again, what you want to do, if I can borrow Wolf will do it this time. Okay. Imagine my pendulum line inside. Now, let's say Wolf wants to just push me without controlling me.
Just push. Yeah. So I can't find the line.
You can't find line now. Wolf wants to actually imagine with your hand. Yeah, very good. Now, if you push now, I can still move a little bit, but it's harder for me now. And now what you want to do is once you draw it in, grasp it. Okay, I'm done. That's good. You will find that, okay, grasp it, but don't throw me. Okay. And then I'll show you how now. This is nothing. I can move around, grasp it, but don't throw me. Yep. You see how much harder it is for me to move? I'm moving, but I'm moving my shoulder, my central structure is stuffed, right? And that's why Wolf throw me now. Can throw me so easily. Yeah. Any questions before we actually give each other a go? No questions?
If you're not experienced, try to work with somebody that's a little experienced so you can share.
Yeah.
And don't be shy to ask questions.
Yeah, yes please, yeah. Now also the other thing is that this is not a competition. Okay?
Yes.
We're not trying to make it hard for each other to feel that pendulum and grab onto it. We want to make it easy for each other, right? So that we can help each other explore what we're trying to get to. It's like when you do karate, the guy would and then stand there for half a minute while the karate person work out the routine to go 1, yeah, 2, and 3, yeah. In a real fight, no one's going to stand there and go. Yeah. So, but we need to slow things down for the practice. Okay.
And please be careful. We don't need anybody falling.
Yes.
What we really need to work on is feel it, pull it in, grasp it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to push them, do it gently. Very gently, because we don't need. This is a hard floor. Ask
because the idea, all we have to do is the idea is that from here, find it, grasp it, and that's all we need. Yeah, that's all we need.
So you can do it through the hands. You can do it through.
The further away
harder.
from that actually is pendulum line, the harder it is, because that means that you need more requirements to be able to actually transfer the power through. It's harder for me to shoot someone from here, right, than to shoot someone from here, right? So the closer it is to the pendulum, the better.
Okay.
Give each other a try. Yeah.
You can grasp it anywhere on the lane.
Okay.
Or you want to try to get center point.
In theory only, it is actually this point and this point. Okay, in theory, okay. But you will soon find that theory is great on books, yeah. So the thing is, because why it is only in theory only, because Wolf is going to be going up and down, moving around and so on. So, yeah. So anywhere is fine. Anywhere is fine. You will soon find that there are points that areas, for example, I don't want to go too low because that swing is just way too big for me to control. I don't want to go too high because then the thing is I'm missing bits. Yeah. Same as imagine this is more actually fighting. imagine that someone's arm is here, right? I don't want to control the arm here because it's going to knock me dead, right? I'm not going to control the arm here because it's going to elbow me, right? But find the point here, and then he will find it like either way. Yeah. Now, also, this is actually another point. I just do it just schematically, okay? Now, if you move around, I will move. Yeah, try to elbow me. He can do it. So therefore, like when I find the pendulum, I also have this like the little following through, floating following through, because like that pendulum line is not going to be stable. So therefore, like I'm actually like controlling it. And so that's what we're trying to do. Okay, give it a try. It will be a little bit weird in the beginning. Most things in Taiji is a bit weird in the beginning, but play with it, play with it. So find yourself a partner, play with it a little.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, good. Now, I was saying that like this is concepts that's this is same concept, but
It's a different aspect of the same concept.
in a way, Tai Chi is Tai Chi is Tai Chi, right? So therefore, like we're not really doing anything different from anyone else, except that like imagine you've got an elephant. Right. If you just keep on looking at behind the elephant, you think that the trunk is that tiny little tail, right? So what you want to do is you want to shift around and look at different things, so you can actually get a picture of what this is whole thing about. So don't limit yourself that you have to say, hey, I'm only doing Yang, I'm only doing Imperial, I'm doing this and that. Don't worry about it, right? Because the thing is like, you want to observe the elephant different angles. You need to have your own operating system, if I can borrow that. Yeah. So therefore, like if you're an Android person, you're on basically Android, but there's nothing wrong with playing with the iPhone to have a look at what apps are out there. Yeah. So that's the thing. Okay. Now, just then we had a little bit of fun with finding the opponent's pendulum, right? Now we're going to have a bit of fun with using your own pendulum. Okay, if I can borrow Wolf again. Okay, now, of course, Wolf, ideally I don't want Wolf to find a stable structure, right? But let's say Wolf finds my stable structure and he doesn't do the Yat Tong Zek Hong properly. I'll explain that another time. If his force is coming through, okay, I may actually use the pendulum to bring the force to there, okay? And then what I want to do is, because now he's giving me a stable structure, okay, my pendulum is going to swing back, and swing back, okay? So the thing is that just then you were utilizing the weakness of the opponent's pendulum. Now you're going to use the strength of your pendulum, right, to swing back. A little bit crude, yes, but then effective nonetheless, okay? So if I'm exaggerating, right, I'm actually doing this, and then doing this, okay? But the thing is, like, it happens internally. Pendulum, pump. Pendulum, pump. Now, I don't need the pendulum to swing all the way there to hit Wolf, right? All I need is that the pendulum swing there, right? I'm exaggerating, of course, right? And then this pendulum move about this much, and then you can pop the person, okay? So, easy enough to understand.
When you swing back, you've drawn me in quite a bit too.
Yeah.
So you don't have to come back all the way.
I don't need to come back all the way. And the thing is, like, of course, get the linear line first. In a moment, right? Get the linear line first, a little bit, and pop, right? Once you get the hang of it, you can actually, for example, swing it around this way. Yeah. And once you get that even more, you can actually just have a little pendulum here. Yeah. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do. Now, again, help each other find it. You're not having a competition right here, okay? Help each other find it. Give each other a little bit of a stable structure so you can know, oh, okay, am I getting it? I'm not getting it, right? Try the linear line first, right? And then after a little while, if you're comfortable, you can play with anything you want. Yeah, swing it around your head. Can I borrow you? Swing it around my head. Whoa, bring, boom! Yeah, just swung my pendulum around this way. You can do anything you want. Because once, as I said, once the Yi Chi is there, You can do anything you want with it. Yeah. Give it a try. Find yourself a partner. And any questions?
Yeah.
Any questions? No.
Start simple, start basic, don't get
Start
crazy.
simple, start basic. Start play. The good thing about, yesterday when I got home, I was thinking, hey, the best thing about this group is that everyone is relaxed and happy. And you know what's the good thing about being relaxed and happy? So, yeah, you've got Taiji groups out there that's like very serious, and they try to song, and they go, this is song. No, this is not song. So, go for it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Live thing. It's just a game because games is how we learn. Okay. Now, just try one more thing. Is that I borrowed
Sky.
Sky? That's right. I borrowed Sky again. Okay. Pendulums everywhere. Which one am I going to use? Okay. Just think we're using a big pendulum. All right. Nothing wrong with other pendulums. Like for example, from here, I'm going to have a little pendulum. Just right here. So instead of me going all the way like that, I'm just going to go like whoop, boom, whoop, boom, boom, boom.
Cute little baby pendulum.
Baby pendulums. Push it right here. Oh, 1, 2, whoop, boom. Baby pendulum as well. Okay. From here, big pendulum, knock you on the head. Yeah. Yeah. You can try that as well. We just spent a few minutes playing with different pendulums. One of the funny things about the human mind is that you would notice that, like, once you know how to hold a small teacup, right? If someone gives you a bigger teacup, you can hold the same. You give you a tiny little Barbie doll teacup, you still hold it the same. When you know how to draw a smiley face, you can draw it this big. You can draw it this big, right? So the thing about the mind is that, like, actually, I should say the brain is that, like, size doesn't really seems to matter. Okay.
But you're in love, Monica.
Oh man, I am.
Takes one to know
I was waiting for that one. So feel free to map it anywhere you want, swing it anywhere you want, and just play with it for a few minutes, just for the fun of it. Okay, go for it. Yes. You would notice one thing is that, like, if the opponent is really being a noodle, right? Very hard to do anything to him, because, like, you do need to have some sort of a handle, okay? But the thing is, as I always say, like, if someone approaches you to want to fight you, but they're just being a noodle, don't worry about it. Don't fight him, yeah, because, like, he's got no intention to fight you. Anyone who wants to fight you wants to do this, and now you've got a handle, right? If somebody walks up to you like this, right? Just buy him a beer. Yeah. Okay. Now, what's the other thing too? Do remember from what I said yesterday, anything that you can construct in your mind, you can use, okay? Some of you would want to use it for, different people would want to use it for different purposes, right? And there is no rule to say that, like, it has to be done like this, right? The only thing that has to be done is that you have to trust yourself, that's all. So if you want to use it in judo, go for it. If you want to use it in jiu-jitsu, go for it. If you want to use it for fighting, hitting people with it or whatever, just go for it as well too. Because, like, there's no right or wrong. It's just how you want to use it. It's like me giving you a knife. You can use it to cut veggies, right? You can use it to actually, like, spread jelly on toast, or you can actually stick it with something. Which I don't recommend. Okay, now 3 rings. Okay, we need to talk about the 3 rings. So most of you have done Yang with Shu-Ren. Okay, good. Okay, now 3 rings. There are different levels of use. Okay. How did you learn about how to generate the 3 rings? No. Generate it. Okay.
Just turning.
Yeah. How you generate the 3 ring is actually, imagine you've got a pond, right, the surface of the water. You drop a pebble in the pond, right, and then, like, when the pebble hits the surface of the water, it ripples out in rings. Okay, so basically that's the nature of those rings. So those rings are not really hard, solid structures, right? But are actually floating structures that's wavy, changeable, and so on. So they're not hard, they're not substantial. Okay, they are actually forever adapting, changing, moving. If another object gets in the way of the ripple actually simply goes around it. Yeah, so it's something like metal solid rings. Okay, so what we want to do is actually to learn how to open those rings. Okay, I think from what I've seen in the Civil Race Yang class, the using of the ring is actually pretty much spot on. So I'm just going to show you how to generate the rings. Okay, I'll demonstrate first. Okay, I'm actually using the opening sequence of the Generation Yang Taiji to demonstrate. Sorry, I haven't switched this off, so just give me 1 second. Okay, right. So in the opening sequence, I won't go through everything, but I mainly focus on the 3-ring part. Okay, so you open up. Okay, now chest opens. Right. Why the chest opens is because I want my opponent's force to go through me. Right. Sometimes I might even invite his force to go through me, because like if you invite him to go a certain way, you are ahead of the game, because like you already know he's going there. Yeah. So instead of reacting, you actually trap him. Okay. So I open my chest up. Imagine like you've got a little chi pebble, drop it down to Dantian. Okay. Goes down the Yin Qiao Mai. Right. Goes around the Yung Quan, come up the Yang Qiao Mai, go around the pelvic crest, go down to the tailbone, and then the power starts coming up. Right. Now, when it comes up to the hip level, to be specific, actually, is the it's near the Chongren. Anybody knows acupuncture point here? The one next to the hip joint, the hip bone. Qi Chong Yuan, yeah. You go up to the Qi Chong Yuan here, right? And when the qi comes up, it hits the surface of the water there, and it ripples out the ring. The ring's about this big. Okay, your hands are still here, right? Now as it goes further up, it draws your hand. Now you see how my intention is actually leading. I'm not moving my hand across like this. I just merely move my intention. My hand goes together, right? Until it kind of touches, but not really. It doesn't really matter. Okay. And now I've got 2 little chi balls in my hand now. So I don't think hand. I think chi balls. Okay. This coming up. Okay. Now when it hits the waist level, right? Another ripples up, and you've got another ring. A bit smaller. Okay. The waist ring is not a fighting ring, it's a controlling ring. The hip ring is a fighting ring, okay? And it keeps coming up. And I still have the chi ball spinning in my hands. Now it hits my zhongfu level, right? And Fung, ripples out another ring. So now you've got a 3 ring. And once you've got the 3 rings, like when you do the form, you can do what Sifu Ray's been showing you. The 1, 2. I mean, I don't do it this way, but it's actually a very, very good way. I probably incorporated that in my practice. Yeah. So it's like you think of the ring moving, you still think of the body moving. Okay. Now, when the ring moves, it's not like a solid robotic ring move. Rings move. Okay. So let's do it together, right? So find your own space. We'll do it together, and I'll go through the process with you. And we can. What you want to do is a lot of these things is actually hidden. A lot of these things it's not physical. You can't see. And so what you want to do is you want to actually feel the rippling effect, right? You're not really actually physically rippling out because you just can't. Your bones will not allow you to actually expand out this way. Okay, so I won't go into way too much detail with the opening sequence because that will take another 3 hours. So you open up. Okay. This opens. Pebble drops down, right, roughly to the Dantian area. Now you go down the Yin Qiao Mai, which is actually, imagine that if you cut yourself in half here, Yin Qiao Mai is about 1/3 in front. Yin Qiao Mai, go down, Okay, go around the Yongchuan area, which is the kidney one. Come up the Yang Qiao Mai. Yang Qiao Mai, if you again cut yourself in half here, is 1/3. Yeah. Okay, it's gone up to the pelvic crest. Go around to the back, to the roughly tissue. There you go, roughly there. Doesn't have to be exact. Go down the tailbone. Now, from the inside the tailbone is the Chong Mai, the middle channel, not the yin, not the du, not the ren, not the du, but the Chong Mai. It comes up from the inside, and it's actually that coming up on the inside that drags your hands across. So I'm not putting my hand across to move that up. I'm actually moving that up to drag my hand across. Okay. Now from here, very soon it will hit that hip level. Right, your hands hasn't even touched yet. Now let it ripple out. About a meter, 1.2 meters. That's 3 feet. Yeah, 3 feet. About 3 feet. There you go. Right. Okay. Now, roughly by the time it hits your waist level, your hands is almost together. Right. So ripple another one out through your the waist ring, roughly at the belly button level, and it keeps coming up. Right now, I've got 2 little chi balls spinning in my hand. Right, shoulder level. Oh, another one. Now you've got all 3. Okay. Now we might as well complete the sequence. The 2 little chi balls, you sip it into your body. Oh, it's come back out again, and it's now spinning in your hand. Now you place that chi ball, those 2 chi balls on the shoulder rings, and you fire it out, boom, all the way, gone right through me into the wall. Right, and oh, it's coming back, okay, it's come back now, and got back into me. Now it's leading my hand, not my hand leading the chi balls, but the chi ball leading my hands. Right, oh, do a little U-turn, now I turn into one big ball, and the big ball hits the ground, and imagine it's like a water balloon that the water bursts out and spreads all around you. There you go. That's the opening sequence in the imperial yang. Okay, and then the rest is up to you. Okay. But now you've got the
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
yeah, and now you've got the 3 rings, right? Now most of you, by the time that you finish doing this now, you've more or less lost track of where the body is, but you've got an idea of where the rings are, and that's exactly right. Because don't be obsessed with where the body is, right? Because it's actually the rings doing the work. Okay. Now, what am I doing with the rings? Can I borrow woof? Yes. Okay. Now, let's say you put his hand here, right? First up, I'm opening. Cool, isn't it? I drop it. Okay, now I won't go through the whole processing, but now the rings ripples out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one. Okay, of course, like they're very, very subtle. I'm not going to fight woof with that. Okay, but they're very, very subtle. Yeah. And if I am to want to use them to fight woof, what I will be doing is that I'll be actually using, I have the water here. I'll actually use woof's power to ripple me out, not to hit the water, and then actually like the ring spreads out because of you, not because of me. So if you yeah, so that's the idea. Okay, so I'm actually using the ring. Okay, in Tai Chi, my teacher's his words translated, exact word translated is that like you want to use the opponent's things. Okay, it's like money. Okay, you use his money, right, and then you give it back to him. Okay, don't use your own money, right? And don't even give him interest. Okay, so it's just like I don't use any of my money. Yeah, that's what we do. Okay. Now, we'll go through that once more, okay? And then we're going to play with the rings a little bit, okay? All right, cool. Okay, thank you. We'll go through it once more. We'll go through it once more. Okay. Actually, yesterday, for those who had actually attended yesterday, remember that point I was talking about on this side? Right, how you actually move your leg out, right? One of the many methods is that you think of that point, right, condensing, And because like you're going to lose your balance that way, so your feet actually comes out to maintain that balance. Yeah, that's one of the ways of opening. Yeah. Okay. Open. Sorry. Pedal goes down. Right, goes on the yin chiao mai. Goes around the kidney one. Goes up the yang chiao mai. Goes around the pelvic crest. Go down the tailbone. Come up from the inside. Okay. Oh, coming up now. Oh, waist, hip ring. Wow, spread, nice. Chi balls in my hands, and the waist ring, belly button level, a little bit smaller ring. Right. And shoulder ring. Okay. Chi ball in the chest. Fire. Right. Oh, come back. Sip it in. Oh, it's turning back out. One big chi ball. Water balloon. Oh, damn, it hits the floor and water everywhere. Okay, there you go. All right, okay. Now also the size of the rings is not the ideal shape of 36, 24, 36. Right? But it's more or less 36, 30, 36, something like that. Yeah. So the middle ring is a little smaller. The shoulder ring is a fighting ring. Hip ring is a fighting ring. But the waist ring is actually the most important ring because it coordinates two. Yeah. And yet you can't fight with the waist. I mean, I can't come up with you and use my waist to go. It doesn't work. Yeah. But the thing is, I can actually use my hips. Right. I can actually use my shoulder. Whoa. Yeah, but I can't use my waist. Okay. Yes.
Keep eating here.
I know. Tamales, yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, what another issue is that you notice that like when we ripple the rings out, okay, we're actually doing a sort of relaxation. In the Imperial Yang, we've got the important issue of Song San Tong Kong, or in Mandarin with Song San Tong Kong, right? You can't relax, you can't song, right, without hip dispersing. Okay. Some people said that I relax downwards, but the thing is when you relax downwards, at some point in time, you can't relax any further downwards because like you're gonna have tension in the legs. So basically, you're shifting tension from the shoulder, right, to the waist, to the hips, to the legs. So you still have tension. But what you want to do is you want to relax sideways, right? Then everything goes up, right, and you won't have any tension anyway. And the hip ring helps you with that as well. Okay. Now, once you achieve the relaxation and the san, which is kind of a form of dispersion, right? What you're dispersing is you're dispersing into your opponent. If you can borrow the sky, okay. Now, what I'm doing is this, okay. When I fight Sky, right, I don't want to, unless her power is all here, right, which is easy for me to control, which would be a lot easier to control. Most people have some sort of power backup somewhere back there. So the thing is, my san, my relaxation side weight, is so that I can actually get my power. Now it's here, and I spread all the way. Yeah, you spread all the way to the person's centers and control her balance and everything too. Okay, so and san. It's different from pushing. If I push, my power is still here. Now it's san. Yeah, that's different. Okay, so that's the san, and then san is for the person's tone, right? And once I establish that, I don't want it anymore. Yeah, you don't want to stay connected to the opponent forever, because like if I'm connected to you, right, you can do things to me as well too, right? Because we want you to. So once I've managed to connect, I don't want it anymore. Yeah. So therefore, like you go and you disconnect, you go and disconnect, go and disconnect. It's almost like you've got a taser. You don't set the guy that goes forever. You go pop, and that's it. Okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, what I want you to do is try to use that san, right, to actually like use that dispersion to actually move the power into the opponent's centers. Okay. Now again, it's not a matter of it's not a matter of me pushing my power in. It's me dispersing the power in. Yeah. Okay. From here. Okay. Yeah. Try that. Try that. Now, one thing though, don't try too hard. Right. We won't do this part for too long. The reason is that, ultimately, I don't want to use my things to invade Sky. I want to use Sky's thing to invade Sky. Okay, I'm actually borrowing your arrow and then shooting that back at you. When you actually use your things, you end up losing power. So we won't do this for too long because it's draining if you're actually using your own thing. So I just merely want to do it for maybe just a couple of minutes. Right, just so you can do it. I don't want you guys to actually lose power because of that. Okay, so find yourself a partner. What you want to do is you are not doing that. You're merely sound like that, and now you can actually do things. Okay. Now it sounds a bit more true. Yeah, give that a try. Give that a try. Only for 2 minutes, so you don't drain yourself. The three rings ultimately you don't want to use your own power because you are using the opponent's power. So the thing is, I've got the water, and Mark is going to hit me in my stomach. Right? I'll do the wrong way, just using muscular force to block Mark. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is a little bit hard. A little bit hard. Okay. This is. Ow, that hurts. Okay. Now, but what I want.
Don't want to hurt the teacher.
Yeah. I'll hurt you back. But what you want to do is you actually if you turn yourself in the water, so when Mark hits, right, you're actually using that for the ripple, right? You disperse Mark's power and you give it back to Mark. Okay. So let's say if you hit me again, that's what happens.
Yeah, delay.
Yeah, that's a delay because it takes time for the ripple to go through. Okay, right. But the thing is that you would find that hit, I wasn't really just using muscles to block at you. When I pull. Okay. Now that was a delay, right? If no delay, that's it. Because what happened is that I want Mark to actually hit the water, because my water is not here. My water is actually here. So when Mark actually hits the water here, it starts dispersing. So by the time it reaches my body, half the power is already gone. So the thing is let's pretend the finger is a knife. That's what we're doing. I'm using Mark's intention, right, to actually disperse my thing. Okay, now this is actually bit higher level. I don't expect you guys to do this, right? But I want you guys to actually play with this now. It's merely, right, place a fist lightly somewhere on the body, right? So when you actually push me a little bit, use that to ripple out. Yes. Okay. You can place on different part of the body, like for example the shoulder, right? Like that, right? Actually, you notice that when Mark's not giving me much, I can give Mark much, right? Mark give me a little bit more, I give Mark a little bit more. Yeah, because I'm not powering it. Mark is powering it. Yeah. So because it's stingy, he's not giving me any money, man. Yeah. So, therefore, I can't play. I can't invest those money wisely because it's only $3. But if Mark gives me money, now it works. Okay. So you can try that level, waist level, hip level, whatever you want. Okay. Give that a try now. Remember, you are not using things. Slowly increase the force. Just use the finger, just so that it's easy to observe. Slowly increase the force. You see how the more Mark increase the force, the more my ring ripples. Bring the force back down. My ring disappears. Okay, you do that once more. My ring appears again. Yeah. So the thing is I'm fully, Taiji saying that Seiki, right? You let go of yourself and you follow the opponent. That's one of the meaning, of it. Okay. Give it a try. Only if you want to, then punch each other. Otherwise, just do the gentle ripple thing with me. Okay. Okay, give it a try. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. All right, go.
Okay. Now, what I'm doing here is that I'm not teaching you push hands here. I'm not teaching you fighting here. What I'm doing is that I'm actually giving you tools to play with, okay? Depending, as I've said many times, I'm not a push hand expert. That's not what I focus on. But what I want to do is to give you tools that you can play with, right? So that, let's say, if you want to become push hand experts, get together with other push hand enthusiasts and use these tools to work out what you can do to help you achieve what you want, okay? So whether you want to do it for push hands or for hitting someone, for fighting, health, whatever, right? It's up to you to decide. I'm merely giving you the Lego blocks, right? What you want to build out of the Lego blocks is entirely up to you. You can build an elephant, you can build a boat, you can build anything, okay? But if you build an elephant, try to make it like an elephant. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, also the other thing is that, like, I come from a fighting background, so that a lot of my mindset is fighting. Okay. Now, also some of this energy when you use for fighting, it is actually a lot nastier, right? But the intention is still behind it. Yeah. I'm going to have to get moved to phone. Sorry. Thank you. You want to get a pad just in case?
They're in there, yeah.
No, they're under my banana. Yeah. The one that we use.
The banana
Whichever one you want.
That one's kind of soft, Wolf.
Yeah, I don't want too hard because otherwise it goes through too much. So basically, what happens is that, like, when I hit someone, okay, I'm not going to hit the person physically like this, right? Because like wood is quite strong. I'll be hitting like this, right? And it's not going to go through, okay? In my mind, I have different projections. Like, for example, like Ray particularly likes the water punch. So in my mind, I would actually have the water splashing before I hit, okay? And that becomes a totally different ball game. Or the other thing is that, let's say, if I really want to the power to go through, I may imagine a spear going right through, right, before it goes through, okay? This is the type of power you want to develop when you hit someone. Very, very different from using muscles. That doesn't hurt, right? But what you know is you go, hop, yeah. And the power goes right through. Okay, so okay. Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah. So that's the idea. That's the idea. You want to actually like put your intention behind everything. Same as when you're kicking a ball, right? You don't look at the football and go. You don't do that, okay? What you want to do is you look at football. You look at the goal. Look at the football. Look at the goal. Look at the football. Look at the goal. Look at the goal. Home, right? That's how you kick a football. It's natural human condition to actually like use the mind and extend the mind and so on. But just that for some reason, when we all get worried and tense up and so on, we start focusing on this. Yeah. Same as, let's say, if I have to like, if I have to hit Wolf, don't let me hit you. Right. I'm focusing here. It's not going to work. But the thing is, I'm not focusing here. The thing is, like, why do we tense up here when our focus should be out there anyway? Yeah. So therefore, that's what we are supposed to do as human beings. Okay. And hopefully, with this sort of like building blocks, it will help you achieve that goal of like seeing the bigger picture instead of here. Okay. Now we have done some cool things with that ring. Okay. Now we are going to do more. Another very important power transfer exercise is a W shape. Okay. So what a W shape is like Sanjiku. Just then we actually have a ring that goes spreading this way. Okay. Rings can work many different ways. This way, or even this way. Okay, this is all called the sanjiku. Remember the banana that I was using before? Okay, imagine that banana is actually two rings. Okay, within the one ring. Okay, so think of it as almost like a yin-yang sign, but it's got the counterbalance as well too. So when someone pushes you on the inside, okay, the last thing you want to do is to fight the person. Okay, let's say like from here, now I establish a ring. Okay, I'm establish a ring structure. If someone pushes me here, what I don't want is to fight you here. Keep pushing. It's totally embarrassing. Okay. So Ray is going to actually just cut out this part. Post out. Who made up job? Yeah. Totally embarrassing. Okay. So what you want to do is that you want to use this, the two rings, to turn this way. It's called a Sanzi. Okay. So when Wu pushes me, this is actually what happens.
So is that the same ring?
Yeah, it's the same ring, but you imagine you've got two little rings inside the ring. Yeah, so, but the thing is, don't get overly, this main ring is the important one. This is actually the secondary one. So whatever, you have to maintain your focus. That's more important than that, okay? But that works inside. And also the other thing with the W shape is that it must not be balanced, okay? Let's say a wolf pushes me. Okay, now I'm totally balanced. Wolf is relatively stable. Okay, but the thing is, like, if it is unbalanced, this is what happens. Okay, so the thing is, you want to have this instability. In Taiji, it's all about playing with stability and instability, playing with order as well as chaos. Okay. In the universe, chaos always wins. Entropy wins. So the thing is, like, what you want to do is like, chaotic. So I'm not, come again, I'm not going to go, okay, I'm going to go chaotic, and chaos, yeah. So I'm going to be chaotic about it. Okay, so I can actually generate power accordingly. And you will also find that, like, people who've got structures are easy to fight. Yeah, people who are chaotic is the one that, man, I don't want to fight you because I can't do anything. So therefore, like, chaos always wins. So find yourself a partner, all right, and try this W method, okay? So what, Wolf's turn, okay? Like for example, like now Wolf has actually established the ring now. So two more rings here going this way. Because my power is coming this way. So the rings, to not fight with two little rings, is coming this way. Okay, and of course, do a balanced one first. Works. Okay, now do an unbalanced one. So maybe a little bit more this side, and then a little less, and then switch over a little bit more and a little bit less here. I'm in a lot more trouble. You notice I'm in so much more trouble. Because heck, where the hell am I going to get the stability point? Yeah. So give that a try, right? And again, help each other. But this one is getting closer to actually free stuff now, because like you're adapting, you're changing, you're moving accordingly. Yeah. Also, one more thing too. You have to be proactive. When you're reactive only, the more complex something is, the longer it takes for you to react, right? So let's say if I'm purely reactive from here, and I have to establish all these like rings and so on, right? Before I finish establishing ring, I'll be gone, okay? So I'm proactively forming all the structures, right? So I'm still using Wolf to power me, right? But I am proactively passive. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, give it a try. W shape, give it a try, yeah. Any questions before we begin?
Can you clarify the unbalanced?
Okay. What it means is that like you want a 49-51 ideally, but 30-70 is fine. But the thing is, the more unbalanced it is, the more the opponent would also know that it's unbalanced. Yeah. So therefore, like you need to fine tune it. You want it unbalanced, but not so much the opponent knows how to deal with the unbalance. right?
Unbalance meaning like one's turn more than the other?
One turns more, the other
Right,
turns less.
right.
Maybe it's just a little bit
Then I can try.
skewed, right?
And it-
Maybe that stretch more.
Yeah.
Maybe this is smaller, this is bigger.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
unbalanced. Yeah. Give it a try.
Question
Yes,
on it?
please.
And this is just in my mind, I'm seeing it. You got the banana type ring.
Yeah.
Bring it in and take it out?
No. You bring it in and you use these two
This
bits.
part.
Yeah. There are times you may want to do that middle. For example, can I borrow Wolf once more? Yes. Sorry. Yes. Now, when do I use the middle? Okay, let's say if Wolf's power is no longer a single point here, but here and here. Okay. Now I'm actually like instead of using the outside part of the banana, I'm using the inside part of the banana. You notice how I'm actually like getting, I do it very slowly with Wolves, like you see how I'm actually bringing him in, right? And now he's powering himself out,
Just reversing the spin.
just reversing, yeah. So ultimately, it depends on what the opponent is giving you. You may use this, you may use this, you may use this, or this, it's up to you. And then, yeah, and then the chaotic ring happens, yeah. You'll notice that Wolf goes,
Down.
okay, yeah, because I'm actually using the chaotic rings. I've got like these things, I use about 4 of them. Yeah. In theory, you can use 6, but I can only use 6. I was using 4 of them just so that like Wolf can.
Too much to keep.
Yeah, Wolf couldn't keep up with it. Yeah, again, I'm being proactive. Okay, Wolf is still powering those rings, but I'm actually being proactive right there. Okay, give it a try. Now you would notice that. This is all free. This is all free. I mean, like how you construct them, how you deal with it is all, as I say, whatever you can, your mind can conceive, right? You can use that structure. So therefore, like play with each other to find out what works, what doesn't work, right? And be experimental. Okay, be playful, be experimental, and that's the best way to actually get result. It's not by rigidly following rules. Right, is by you know the rules and then you have to break the rules. Okay, you just need to know the rules. You don't need to follow the rules. Yeah. Okay, like none of us drive according to the speed limit. It's a suggestion.
The Texas drivers.
Rules are just suggestions. Okay, so feel free to play with everything. Okay, now another way of using the rings, this is actually, I'm freeing you from the 3 there now, is that whenever someone touches you, right, 4 rings. Okay, so if I can borrow Wolf again, yes. Okay. 4 rings. Okay, touch me here, 4 rings. Okay, touch me here, 4 rings. And now my ring spreads. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so what happened is that like instead of the classical 3 rings here, or even the W character, right? You can form rings just about everywhere. Okay, in your mind, your energy structure is like water. Okay, so which means that like when Wolf touches me, I do not want this to be solid. Right? I do not want to do this because next thing you know, wham! Okay? I do not want to do this because next thing you know, oh man. Okay? So what happens is like nothing is solid. So from here, now, another thing about nothing is solid is that if I am, let's say, not solid, I push a little bit more, and I do this, Wolf can still come in, right? Because I'm only using a single dimension of moving this way. Yeah, and when there's a single dimension moving this way, of course the guy is going to like come in through the different side. Yeah. If you're into fighting, if someone blocks your hand here, right? Okay, the idiot will try to fight this, right? The smart guy will actually just like do this. Okay, that's what opponents would do. Okay, so what I want to do is like someone touches me, water. I'm spreading the water, the rings. Boom, 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 boom. Ripples out here, right? Touch the other hand. Now, because of the direction, sorry, just a second. The ring is like comes up here. Okay, so now I've got ways to disperse you, right? And the more you give me, the more actually this gets dispersed. Okay, I've got. Yeah. Now I actually had to introduce the third one, because like, despite the dispersion there, Wu's power is still getting through. Okay, and where Wu's power hits was actually here just then. Okay, so that's now I have a third one, and that's the one that got moved. Okay, so what I want you to do is try to explore different ways of using those spreading the sound. Okay, like for example, if you tap your over here, right, push harder. Yeah. So what I want to do, sound. Okay, sound. Sound. Okay. So again, the second one, I managed to actually stabilize myself relatively okay, but I'm still losing. So the second one, again, I'm actually not using my force. Move. I'm doing this so move can give me force, and now I can actually use move. So sometimes what you find is that like if the opponent is not giving you a stable point for you to splash the water, right? You give him the stable point, right? But when you give him the stable points, remember that it's that like you are not, even from here, I'm using, right? I am not using my force. I'm merely giving something for move to fight back with, and now I can actually like use my force. And I mean use my weapons to disperse. Again, it's move fighting himself off, not me. Okay. Now give it a try. The first one I want you to try is just merely touching here. It's just lightly so you can get the feeling. You can get the feeling. Second hand there. You can get the feeling. Right. That's all I want at first. Okay. And once you get a feeling and your partner says, hey, yeah, something's happening, you may actually like try to give move a little bit more. And now you use what move's given you. You actually do that. Okay. Right. I'm not talking about a sharp push, right? I'm just talking about a dispersion. Okay. Give it a try. Okay. Any questions? No. Okay. Now, also, what I want again is a matter of experiment. Okay. You are not going to get it right the first time. Okay. I can't get it right every time, right? That's why it's good to have people to work with, so that like all your errors you want to iron out in here. So when you're out there, right, you don't have to worry about those errors anymore. Yeah. Okay, give it a try. Have some fun. The last meeting that Mark talks about. Okay. If Mark is unstable, right, it's embarrassing for me to do anything to Mark. Okay, so I have to stabilize Mark somehow. Okay, now there are many ways of stabilizing Mark, right? My favorite way is to go pump. Now I'm stable, pump. Funny enough, in Wang Yongquan description, he talks about finger jabs to the ribs. Yeah, so you use the fingers to go pump, and then now you can go. This is the second one. And then the other one that Wang Yongquan talked about is called the cup thing. It's like drawing in stability. Okay, so from here, I'm actually drawing marking, and now he's still not stable, and I do it now, it still won't work. So I actually understand where, now it's stable. Yeah, you need to recognize the point of stability. The opponent is not going to stay stable forever. Okay, he's only going to stay stable and solid for a split second. Yeah.
And that's it. The word stable may be a little confusing. Yes, they are stable, but it's more like they're almost seized up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're like
Rigid.
frozen.
They're frozen.
Yeah. And how do you free somebody? Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Yeah.
Grab their joint. Grab the joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab the joint.
Make them
It's
fall.
another one, like Aikido people do that all the time. Right? Bruce Lee goes. So basically, you can do anything to stable each other. Okay. Now,
Yeah, that's fine, we can pen this up now.
Okay.
That's it.